Hey everybody, wanted to do a quick video on canning, and this is pretty much an introduction to canning for maybe somebody out there who doesn't know about canning. This is kind of a what's what of what you're going to need to do some canning. First thing you're going to need is some vegetables to can, or meat, or poultry, or fruit, or something of the sort. Anything you can buy at the grocery store in a can, you can can yourself at home. Some of the basic things you're going to need is canning jars. You want mason jars. There's different kinds. There's Ball brand mason jars. There are this is a Golden Harvest mason jar, and there is also Kerr mason jars. Okay, then there's two different styles of mouths on the mason jars. There's a wide mouth, and then there's a small mouth. You can see the difference between the two. And here's what the rings look like, except wide mouth, large mouth, and regular mouth. Okay, so we have what I have right here is a variety of a half pint jelly jar. These are pint jars, and then I have a quart jar. They also sell in between a pint and a half, and they sell half-gallon jars as well. This is a can that I had canned previously. This is some spinach, and the reason I have this out is because I wanted to show you that after you can, the rings are reusable. So you can take the rings off, and you can use them on the next can. And it's basically, these are used to hold the lid in place during the canning process. After they cool down, you're feel free to pull them off and use them on your next one, so you don't have to buy a ton of those. Okay, so that's pretty much the jars. Let's get these out of the way. I'm going to use this one for demonstration purposes. One of the most important things you need is a jar lift, or and what this is designed to pick up the jar, place it in the hot water, or take it out and set it down. You cannot grab a hold of this; you'll burn yourself. So this is very invaluable. This is a funnel, and that's designed to put in the jar like so. And then it makes it a lot easier to fill your jars, especially if you're using the regular or smallmouth jars. Another item you're going to be using is a plastic spade of some sort. You can use a wooden spoon, or a skewer, or a chopstick, or anything bamboo. A plastic handled spoon would be fine as well. But what this is used for is after you put all of your vegetables or product in the can and you fill it up, there'll be air bubbles throughout. So you use this to stick down in between the edge of the glass and the jar and shake it and jostle the product around, and your air bubbles will come out. This one also has a stepping gauge, so you can figure out your head space. After a while, you won't have to. You won't need that. Pretty much most of your canning is going to require 1 inch of head space, and that's here, and that's pretty much right to the bottom of the jar. Okay, or bottom of the ring right there. All right, so that's those. Now moving on, the lids can be bought in different manners. You can buy just the lids, or you can buy. This is the small and the large mouth, or wide mouth. You can buy just the lids, or you can buy the rings and lids together, or what they call it bands. I call them rings. You can buy them together in a 12-pack, or you can buy these as a 12-pack. And most of everything that I do is the excuse me, is the smallmouth, regular. Okay, let's see. Some other things you're going to need. Canning salt, or canning and pickling salt. You can also pick up some citric acid. Now, this is not a necessity. Canning has been done for hundreds of years, or not hundreds, but my parents, I grew up watching canning using Morton salt and some lemon juice. Okay, so pretty much citric acid. This is citric acid, and salt is salt. So you can go this route, or you can go this route. Either one. Okay. Now, one other item that makes life a little easier is this little wand. This is a magnetic wand, and what it's designed to do is you heat up some water and you put your lids in the water, and that helps to soften that seal before you put them on a jar for canning. This is the way that works. Is you put the lid in there inside the ring, and then you put that on there and you tighten it down. Then they go into the canner or into your hot water bath. But long story short here, if I'm rambling on, is that this water's hot and you don't want to reach into that hot water. So what you use is the magnetic wand, and you can pull your rings out, or you pull your lids out so you don't burn yourself. Okay, so that's what that's for. Moving on, you'll need a pot here to put your rings in. You can also use a bowl with hot or warm water in it. Depending on the type of canning you're doing, whether it's cold pack or hot pack, and meaning the difference between the two is cold pack is where you take the raw vegetable and you put it right in the can, or right in the jar, and then you pressure cook them. And I'm not going to get into the times and pressures because they're all different depending on what you're canning. But we will touch base on the pressure cooker here. If you're going to do a hot pack, what you can do is get a pot, something like this, and you can steam the vegetables, or you can boil them and then pull them out, and then that way they're already blanched. This is a good way to blanch all your stuff before you put it in the cans. Okay. Then you got the pressure cooker. Okay, the one I have is a Presto. It's a 16 quart, and disassembling the entire thing, you have the rack in the bottom, which is designed to keep. It has a little bit of a gap there, and that keeps your jars up off the bottom of the canner. And then your seal is right here, and this is where your pressure cooker top shaker goes. This shaker is designed in 3 different pieces. Now, all pressure cookers have a 5-pound, a 10-pound, and a 15-pound setting. This particular one, without any of the rings on it, is 5 pounds. You add 1 ring, it's a 10-pound shaker. You add another ring, it's a 15-pound shaker. I'll show you an example of another shaker. If I can find it here real quick. Yeah, I'm not sure where the other one is, but here's another pressure cooker. This one is designed to do small meals. You can see the size difference. That one has a different style shaker, and I did a video on neck bones and noodles, so you can probably go look up that video and see me using that shaker, or that pressure cooker. And then lastly, you'll need either a hot water bath canner, a big pot of some sort, or this is just I think it's a 2.5 or 3 gallon stock pot. What is it? It's I don't know. It's about a 2 or 3 gallon stock pot, and that's what I use to put all my jars in. What I'll do is get this water boiling, and then I'll dip my jars in there just prior to putting the product in there. I'll drop the jars in there and I'll pull them out with those tongs and set them up. The other thing you're going to want to do is make sure that everything is sterilized. You want to boil it, you want to bleach it and rinse it well, and blanch your product. What this is going to do is ensure that you don't have any bacteria inside of any of these cans. Sterilization when it comes to food prep is very important, just like if you're brewing wine or beer or anything like that. You want to make sure that all your equipment is sterile as possible. So that's why we do everything with high heat. And speaking of high heat, when you use a pressure cooker, that temperature that you're getting this product up to is between 240 and 250 degrees. And we all know that typically just boiling water, you're going to end up with 212 degrees. That's about as hot as you're going to get. And the higher altitudes, that actually is a lower temperature. So that's why pressure canning is a preferred method. There is a fear of botulism in food product if it's not done properly. That would be another discussion for another day. That you got the hot water dip method of canning, which is blanching your food, boiling your jar. You take the jar out, you put your hot blanched food in there, you add your citric acid or lemon juice, you add your salt, and then you wipe the lid off, you seal it, and you either right there you're done, or you can put it back in the boiling water for 10 minutes, pull it back out, reef that lid down, and go let it set and cool. The temperature inside the jar will cool off. It'll contract and put everything into a slight vacuum, and you should be good. Now, I grew up with that method, but apparently they think that there's a possibility for botulism in food if you don't pressure cook it or pressure can it. So I've never heard of that method. So we'll have to just trust the experts. All right. Well, anyway, thanks for watching. I'm going to go ahead and get into canning these beans, and that'll be the video I do directly after this one. So if you want to see me doing these, we'll see you on that video. I have to wait for all my pans and water to heat up, and we'll get to it. Thanks for watching.